Tomo Aizawa finally confesses to her childhood friend Junichiro, Jun Kubota, that she loves him, only for him to treat it like a bro-buddy moment, since he still thinks of Tomo as one of the guys. Turns out, although they grew up next door and now go to the same high school, Jun never really registered that Tomo is a girl. This crush misfire leaves Tomo frustrated and desperate. Seeking advice, Tomo turns to her friend Misuzu. Misuzu suggests she tries softening her behavior, but when Tomo speaks gently to Jun, he laughs and says she sounds like an old man, sparking another fight. Tomo then joins the boys' karate club, where the club captain, Kusuke Misaki, actually recognizes her as a girl and gently tells her she's charming as she is. Even so, between friendship punches, awkward misunderstandings, and gym club tension, Tomo leaves episode 1 still stuck in the bro zone, but more determined than ever to be seen as a girl by Jun. Tomo and Jun ride the bus, but when someone gropes Tomo, Jun steps in, confronts the man, and gets him arrested. Afterwards, Jun awkwardly suggests Tomo stop wearing skirts. Hurt and confused, Tomo vents to Misuzu, who persuades her to ditch the shorts under her skirt to catch Jun's attention. The plan backfires. When a gust of wind reveals more than Tomo expects, Jun nearly faints. The second half introduces Carol Olston, the popular school idol. Carol mistakes Tomo as a rival and drags Kusuke Misaki into a weird training scheme to defeat her. But when Carol proposes friendship instead, Tomo, surprisingly, accepts. Finally, Tomo learns Jun once dated her friend, Misuzu Gundu, in middle school, a revelation that leaves her more determined than ever. Episode 2 ends with Tomo still fighting to be seen as a girl, while new friendships and rivalries begin to form. After discovering that Misuzu once dated Junichiro back in middle school, and only for 3 days, Tomo Aizawa confronts Misuzu on the roof. Misuzu admits she didn't know about Tomo's feelings then, and that the relationship ended quickly after a brutal 40-kilometer bike ride date. Jun confirms there's no one else he likes, which gives Tomo a little hope. Next, Tomo introduces Jun to Kosuke Misaki, her karate club senpai. Jun, acting jealously and protective, ends up scaring Kosuke the moment they meet. Meanwhile, Tomo's friends, Misuzu and Carol Olston, decide that Tomo should finally ask Jun out on an official date. They help her pick out clothes so she won't look like her usual tomboy self. On the date, filled with batting cages, bowling, and karaoke, Tomo tries her best to win Jun's attention. At karaoke, she even musters the courage to sing, and though she's embarrassed, Jun seems genuinely pleased to spend the day with her. Tomo leaves the date feeling like she made a step toward being seen as a girl instead of just one of the guys. Things get messy for Tomo Aizawa as she wrestles with what being seen as a girl means to her. First, a classmate tries to win over Misuzu Gundu by making her smile. But she rejects him hard, even taping his mouth shut. This, plus his clumsy confession, makes Tomo suspect that maybe Jun still has feelings for Misuzu. Later, Tomo experiments with being girly, hugging girls, trying soft gestures, hoping to feel more feminine. But when she attempts the same affection with Junichiro Kubota after school, Jun freaks out, saying it's childish and inappropriate. That double standard triggers Tomo's frustration and she punches him. Finally, Tomo shows she can protect others. When a creepy upperclassman harasses a girl, she scares him off with one powerful kick. Jun even steps in and beats up the bully's allies, and proving he's got her back. By the end of episode 4, Tomo's torn. Part of her longs for girly intimacy, another part defends what she already is, strong, protective, and unwilling to change for others. Tomo and her friend Misuzu Gundu are invited to hang out at their rich friend Carol Olston's mansion. At the door, Carol's mom mistakes Tomo for a boy, only to realize her error moments later, and welcomes them in. Inside, Tomo is blown away by Carol's lavish room and jokes Tomo's got a real princess friend. Carol then casually wipes the floor with both Tomo and Misuzu at Othello. Next, Tomo realizes she completely forgot about upcoming midterms. Misuzu and Carol set up a study group, and strangely, it becomes a kind of who's smarter contest. In the end, Carol ranks first, Misuzu second, while Tomo and Jun, who also took the test, fall far behind. Finally, Jun invites Tomo for a gaming night at his house, and she agrees, even though it means staying over. The night starts innocently enough with curry and gaming, but ends in one of those hallmark awkward romantic moments. After playing late, Tomo falls asleep beside June, and he wakes up freaked out when he sees her in his bed. The next day, the silence between them is heavy. Episode 5 ends on an uncertain note. The bro zone feels more complicated than ever, and Tomo begins to wonder if June might finally start noticing her as a girl. Tomo Aizawa gets birthday gifts from her friends, sunglasses from Junichiro Kubota, reference books from Misuzu Gundu, and a ridiculous gold bar from Carol Olston. To celebrate, Misuzu and Carol give Tomo a full girl makeover, makeup, skirt, even a wig, then send her out to buy ice cream just to show her off. At the convenience store, Tomo nearly trips, and June sees her. Although the pretty girl looked a lot like Tomo, June, totally stunned, refuses to believe it's her. After some awkward walking and a deeper conversation, Tomo leaves before June figures things out. Back at home, she finds her friends have planned a surprise birthday cake party. Then comes the school's dodgeball tournament. Tomo is so strong that she's transferred to the boys' team with June. Their team fights all the way to the finals, ultimately winning against a powerhouse opponent thanks to teamwork and quick thinking. By the end of the episode, June admits, internally at least, that Tomo sets the kind of strength he wants to match, hinting so he's starting to see more than just a friend. Flashes back to when Junichiro Kubota first met Tomo Aizawa as a kid. Back then, Tomo accidentally breaks June's handheld game. He punches her in frustration, and she cheekily says he doesn't deserve just one punch but 100. Despite the rough start, after a formal apology from Tomo and her family, they become friends. June grows stronger physically to keep up with Tomo and eventually promises to take back his game when he's strong enough. But even now, many years later, the game is still with Tomo. In the present, the group, Tomo June, Misuzu Gundu, and Carol Olston, head to the beach. Tomo struggles with wearing a swimsuit around June. When he accidentally sees her, he's shocked and flustered. As they hang out, June becomes protective, scaring off a guy who hits on Tomo, though he later awkwardly apologizes, saying he didn't want people thinking they're a couple. Tomo, jealous when Carol cozies up to June, tries to get his attention. Meanwhile, Misuzu thinks June's view of Tomo might finally be changing. Maybe he no longer sees her as just a friendly bro. By the end of episode 7, childhood memories and beach day tension set things up. June's promise still hangs, and Tomo's pushing hard to break free from the just friends zone. Tomo Aizawa takes a dare from her friend Misuzu Gundu to ask her childhood friend Junichiro Kubota out to see fireworks at the summer festival. And June surprisingly agrees. Tomo shows up in a kimono, totally different from her usual tomboy vibe, and her appearance leaves June stunned. As they enjoy festival games, June proves protective when some strangers get too close to Tomo, quietly escorting her away to keep her safe. But the night takes a darker turn when a group of delinquents, linked to past trouble, target Tomo's friends Carol Olston and Misuzu. Tomo and June rush in and fight them off together, showing their teamwork and concern for each other. We get a flashback to Misaki's past. He used to be a lonely, gloomy kid until his cousin Carol showed up, and he thought she was an angel. Fast forward to present day. Misaki joins the dojo run by Guru Aizawa, hoping to get stronger, all because of Carol. During training, he ends up fighting June, after June insults his resolve. Misaki lands a punch that cuts June's cheek, but June retaliates and knocks him out. While Misaki recovers at Tomo's house, he shyly admits to her that he wants strength for Carol, not to impress Tomo. Meanwhile, Carol tries to make June jealous. She spends time with him, even kisses his cheek and teases him about being weak. June panics, runs to Tomo and hugs her, realizing he still doesn't truly see her as a girl. By the end of episode 9, Misaki finally confesses his feelings to Carol, and she accepts. Carol's angel act masks a complicated web of emotions, while Tomo and June remain stuck in their awkward tension. The class runs their annual school marathon. Tomo Aizawa and June compete hard, betting that the loser owes the winner a week of juice. Early on, it seems like a tight race, but their rivalry hits a rough turn. Tomo collapses mid-run, overheated from training the night before. Concerned, June carries her piggyback to the infirmary. When she wakes, her friends, Misuzu and Carol Olston, suggest she use her sick day vulnerability to get closer to June. Later, Tomo asks June to carry her again, this time to her mother's car, and their awkward closeness underlines just how much has changed between them. Afterwards, Tomo returns Jun's old handheld game console, a symbolic moment, telling him that now he's finally caught up to her physically. Meanwhile, Jun flashes back on their middle school years, reflecting on how he treated Tomo. He saw her as a bro, never as a girl. That memory, and the closeness of this moment shakes him. Episode 10 ends with friendship shaken but evolving. Between exhaustion, care, and memories, Jun seems to start viewing Tomo in a new light. Tomo realizes she doesn't have enough money to buy a nice birthday gift for her childhood friend, Junichiro. So she takes a part-time job at a ramen shop run by a classmate's family. Her friends Misuzu and Carol volunteer to help, and the trio starts working there over the weekend. Despite the awkwardness, especially with Tomo and Carol dressed in maid-style outfits, the job goes surprisingly well. Then Jun walks in, and when Tomo serves him, he surprises her by sincerely complimenting how she looks in the outfit. That moment lights up Tomo's spirits, and after payday, she uses the earnings to buy Jun a birthday gift and cake. On top of that, Tomo asks Misuzu for advice on how to get Jun to see her as a girl. Misuzu devises a bold plan involving a staircase incident meant to force closeness. But it backfires hilariously. Instead of Jun ending up in Tomo's arms, he accidentally grabs Carol's chest. Chaos, guilt, and confusion follow, especially for Misuzu, who begins doubting whether she's actually helping or just getting in the way of Tomo's feelings. The episode ends on a tense note. Between part-time jobs, birthday gifts, failed schemes, and shaken friendships, the love triangle's tangled web gets even messier. But Tomo remains determined to make Jun finally notice her as a girl. Kicks off with the school's cultural festival play, Cinderella. Misuzu shines as Cinderella, while Tomo and friends deliver a performance that earns a standing ovation from all the crowd, including parents watching proudly. After the play, Jun invites Tomo to stroll the festival with him. They enjoy games, haunted house scares, and even dance by the bonfire. When Jun asks Tomo to dance, the moment and his feelings hit hard. Tomo, overwhelmed, flees. In the days after, Tomo avoids Jun, but Jun confesses to his friend Misaki that he loves Tomo, and then admits it to Misuzu, clearing the air. Finally, on the rooftop, Jun asks Tomo to hit him, a symbolic moment. Instead, he admits he understood her feelings from the start, and confesses his own. After some heated emotions, Tomo gathers courage and, with a mix of rivalry and romance, accepts that they can be more than just friends. By the end, they agree. They'll be best friends, rivals, and lovers. Things finally come to a head between Tomo Aizawa and Junichiro Kubota. Following advice from their friends Misuzu Gundo and Carol Olston, Tomo takes Jun to a romantic movie hoping to make him flustered, but ends up getting embarrassed herself. After the film, they exchange Christmas gifts. Jun gives Tomo earrings. Tomo gives Jun a handmade muffler. Later, when Tomo visits Jun's house hoping for something more intimate, Jun confesses he can't date her yet. Her father demands that he defeat him in a fight first. Upset by the condition, Tomo confronts her father and storms out. Meanwhile, Jun trains hard and challenges her father. During the fight, Tomo rushes in to support Jun, then giving him the strength and resolve. Jun lands the decisive blow, winning the match, and Goro gives his blessing. In the end, Jun asks Tomo to start dating, and Tomo, in true Tomo style, kisses him first. As they embrace, they officially become a couple. Thanks for watching! That's the end of Tomo-chan Is a Girl. Make sure to subscribe to Orobi Recap, leave a like, and drop a comment for more anime recaps.